everyone, I'm Abby and happy Palm Sunday. Do you know the story of Palm Sunday? Let me tell you. It was the time of the great Jewish festival called Passover. Jesus decided to go to Jerusalem with his special friends, the 12 disciples. On their way to Jerusalem, Jesus said, "I'm going to be arrested and killed, but after 3 days I will be raised from the dead." His friends didn't understand what he meant. When they arrived near a village called Bethany, Jesus sent off 2 of his friends. "Go to the next village," he told them. "There you'll find a donkey. Nobody has ever ridden it. Untie that donkey and bring it to me. If anyone asks what you're doing, just say, 'Our master needs the donkey.'" The 2 disciples found the donkey, as Jesus had said they would. They untied it and brought it to Jesus. Then some of Jesus' friends spread their cloaks over the donkey's back. Jesus got on the borrowed donkey and rode into Jerusalem. Lots of people were going into the city for the festival. When the crowd saw Jesus coming, they grew very excited. Some people spread their cloaks on the ground before Jesus. Others cut down branches from palm trees and laid them on the road. Soon, almost everyone was shouting, "Hosanna! Hooray for God!" So in the story, there are lots of clues about who Jesus was and what he was coming to do. We just have to look very carefully. In the Old Testament, that's the bit of the Bible that was written before Jesus came, lots of people said things about Jesus. When he came in the future, we'd be able to know he was the Son of God because of things he would do or things he would say. One of the people who talked about the coming king, the coming Messiah, was a prophet called Zechariah. And these are some of the words that he said. "Rejoice, O people of Zion. Shout in triumph, O people of Jerusalem. Look, your king is coming to you. He is righteous and victorious, yet he is humble, riding on a donkey, riding on a donkey's colt." Well, we can look back now and see that's exactly what Jesus was doing. He rode into Jerusalem on a donkey, and the people of Jerusalem were all celebrating that he was the coming king. In Israel, in their history, if a king was riding into battle, he'd ride on a horse, a charger, ready to strike down the enemy. But if a king wanted peace, he would ride on a donkey. So we know that by Jesus riding on a donkey, he was going to be a peaceful king. Jesus was coming into Jerusalem at this special time, a festival for Passover. That's when all the Jewish people would remember God rescuing them from Egypt. And part of the festival, they would sacrifice a lamb to God. The lamb was there to take away their sin and to make a fresh start with God. Jesus rode in on the same route that all the lambs were brought to Jerusalem to die for the sins of the people. We can see a connection, can't we? We can see a clue that Jesus was making a statement. He was saying, "This is what I'm doing. I'm coming in to take away your sin, but I need to die to do that." For me, my favourite clue in this whole story is that Jesus gets on a donkey that has never been ridden before. It does as it's told, and it rides through a crowd. Now, if that's not the God of creation, I don't know what is. Because my experience of horses and donkeys is that you can't just sit on them for the first time. They don't always like it. And even the best trained horses can be very naughty when there's a big crowd. That might be a story you've heard before. It marks the beginning of this special week before Easter. And it happened about 2,000 years ago. We know at the end of the week Jesus will die on a cross, but we also know that he'll come back to life and defeat death and sin, and it will be a good thing. But the people back then, they didn't know that. They couldn't see the whole picture, could they? They only had this one tiny bit to look at. We're going to play a game now about what we can see and whether it helps us to understand the big picture. We are going to play a game. Now, what do we need for this game, Peter?
A tube.
A tube. It can be a long tube,
A fat tube.
a short tube,
A long tube.
a skinny tube. Just so long as it's a tube. What else do we need, James?
A bowl.
A bowl, or a cup, or
A
anything
big
like
bowl,
that.
a small bowl, or a skinny bowl, or a fat bowl.
Yeah, absolutely. And you need something to collect in your bowl. We're using marshmallows, because you can eat them afterwards. But you might want to use Lego bricks, or pom-poms, or buttons, or whatever you've got going around. Now, the rules of this game, boys. You need to collect the marshmallows one at a time, but you can only look through your tube. Are you ready? Wait for it, Peter. Ready, steady, go. Well done. Have we got them all?
Yep.
Right. How many have you got?
15, 15, 16, 17.
17. 8. Right, I think James got that one. Now, boys, you can put your tubes down.
That was actually easy.
And we're going to have another go. Okay? But this time, you don't need the tube. Alright? No tubes this time. Oh, remember, still one at a time. On your marks. Get set. Go. Well done. So can you tell me?
1,
Oh, it
2,
looks
3,
yeah, but it looks a bit more
5,
even.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
15. So you probably got 10. So, boys, can you tell me, was it easier looking through the tube or with no tube?
With the tube.
Without a tube. You got more, didn't you, Peter?
The-
What do you think, James? Was it easier with the tube or without a tube?
Both.
Both. You did quite well both times.
I'm just the winner at this game.
Okay.
Too easy.
The people of Jerusalem were very excited. A king was coming to rescue them. They could recognise in Jesus he was the king. Hooray! The Romans would be gone. They wouldn't have to be slaves anymore. But Jesus came on a donkey. He didn't come on a horse. He wasn't coming to overthrow the Romans. He was coming to be a king, but in a very different way. On Palm Sunday, the crowds were so excited that Jesus was going to be a king. But when he didn't turn out to be the king they wanted, to do the things they wanted him to do, they got cross. And by Friday they'd had enough and they said that Jesus should die. We can be a bit like that, can't we? On a Sunday, it's very easy to say, yes, Jesus, be the king of my life. Jesus, I want you to be my king. But then the rest of the week, we kind of want to do things our way. We want to do things that maybe get people at school to like us, or because we don't want to do the difficult things. We want to be king of our lives. So maybe we need to have a think about letting Jesus be the king all the time.